We made their movement a little bit more difficult because of our positioning. Our point of attack on ball screen defense was better. I would prefer to say our intensity was a little bit better. Our attention to detail was a little bit better. It's what we're capable of doing, and for us, we did it consistently for 3 quarters, and that's what it's going to take for us.
Yeah, I think it was great for us. Obviously, I think going into this game, we played without any pressure, and we wanted to focus on seeing how we measure up against Minnesota, considering they're a top team in the league. And so for us, coming out with that win was pretty great.
Oh man, I think, oh my God, I tell Tosh is a pro that flies under the radar in this league, and not a lot of people respect what she does or bring to the table. She's won on every level, overseas, WNBA, and I think that we got to give her flowers a little bit more.
It finally happened. The Indiana Fever just dropped an insane update, and the mighty Minnesota Lynx are completely stunned. Everyone expected the Lynx to cruise to an easy win, but what went down has shaken the WNBA. Just wait until you hear what the Fever did without their star player. Let's rewind a bit. Things were not looking good for Indiana. In fact, many thought they wouldn't even have a shot at keeping up with the league-leading Lynx. First came the Caitlin Clark injury. She had missed 5 straight games already and was just ruled out of Saturday night's battle with Minnesota. Her groin injury, suffered during a hard fall against Seattle on June 24th, has kept her on the sidelines, and Fever fans have been holding their breath ever since.
Still hasn't gone full speed in a practice or a live defensive group, but she's been getting some 3-on-3 work, on her own. So, I think the biggest thing is, she's stated she's not a fan of minutes restrictions. If there's going to be a minutes restriction, maybe we'll hold her another game.
Before that, Clark also missed time with a left quad strain in May, making this her 10th missed game of the season. Even though she's been working with trainers and doing some practice drills, head coach Stephanie White made it clear she still hasn't gone full speed in a practice. White also shared how Clark isn't a fan of being limited during games. So instead of rushing her back, the team is being cautious, wanting her to be 100% before she returns.
Kind of a surprise. In the cliff notes for you, if you haven't been paying attention this week, she missed the Fever's last 5 games with quote-unquote personal reasons, and then it came out that she really didn't want to return, so the team explored some options and wound up waiving DeWanna Bonner, the 16-year veteran, yesterday, so her next destination TBD, we'll get to that.
But Clark isn't the only missing piece. The Fever also had to say goodbye to veteran forward DeWanna Bonner. Once seen as a huge pickup for Indiana, Bonner started the season strong. But after just 9 games, she was benched and then waived following a stretch of absences. Reports say she left for personal reasons, but now teams like the Phoenix Mercury and New York Liberty are looking to scoop her up on a veteran minimum deal. According to Annie Costabile, as the WNBA inches closer to the mid-season cut-down date, players waived could be an indicator of teams trying to sign DeWanna Bonner and Emma Miesemann. That wasn't the end of Indiana's troubles. Another major blow came when Damiris Dantas had her contract suspended by the Fever. But this time, it wasn't due to injury or drama. It was because Dantas went to play for Brazil's national team at the FIBA Women's AmeriCup in Chile. And she's been amazing there. In the quarterfinal game against Mexico, she scored 24 points, grabbed 6 rebounds, and helped Brazil move to a perfect 5-0 record. In fact, Dantas is averaging nearly 20 points per game in the tournament, leading all players. Fever fans showed their support online. Vote for Fever Girl DD. Guys, DD can use our votes. Vote Damiris Dantas for MVP. Even though her efforts have made Brazil one of the top teams, Indiana is missing her badly. That's 3 major players gone at the same time: Clark, Bonner, and Dantas. The Lynx were ready to dominate. And now enter the Minnesota Lynx, one of the most dominant teams in the WNBA. With a blazing 14-2 record, they've been crushing opponents all season. Before facing Indiana, Minnesota had just beaten the Los Angeles Sparks and had 2 more wins than any other team. They were playing at home, inside the iconic Target Center in Minneapolis, where fans were hyped and ready. This same arena had just been flipped overnight from a Timberwolves court to a Lynx floor. Talk about dedication. Even though their MVP frontrunner, Nafisa Collier, was out with a back injury, the Lynx were still stacked with talent. Kayla McBride had just put on a show, dropping 29 points against the Sparks, with 15 of them coming in the 4th quarter alone. Add in Courtney Williams with 18 points and 6 assists, and the Lynx looked unstoppable. Before her injury, Collier had been named WNBA Player of the Month twice in a row, leading the league in scoring and defensive stats. She was also picked as one of 2 All-Star captains, the other being Caitlin Clark. It was supposed to be Collier versus Clark, but with both out, this game looked like an easy win for Minnesota. The Lynx had already shown they could win without Collier, taking down Phoenix and the Sparks. Their bench was deep, their ball movement sharp, and their momentum high. The Fever? They looked like they were barely holding it together. And just when you thought the Lynx couldn't get any hotter, Hay did it again.
Elbow jumper, no good. And there's Collier to get it. Heidemann looking at the 3. Collier loses the defender, reverse layup. A beautiful shot by Fee.
They edged out the Dallas Wings in a tight 85-81 win without breaking a sweat. Napheesa Collier, unstoppable with 28 points and 12 for 12 at the line. Rookie Paige Buchers had fans roaring, dropping a cool double-double in her hometown debut. And on Tuesday night, that energy turned into pure shock.
Mitchell bottoms.
You saw Minnesota's energy and their body language change. They don't like to give up points. Even though it wasn't a lot, it seemed to change their energy.
Hall adding to the point differential. Second three-pointer of the ball game for Lexi Hall. Diamond Miller can't get it to go. Got it back, caught in the lanes.
The Minnesota Lynx, sitting at the top of the WNBA with a 14-2 record and a perfect 8-0. At home, they were expected to cruise to another win, especially since Indiana's biggest star, Caitlin Clark, was out again with a groin injury. But instead of watching the Fever struggle, fans watched something wild unfold. The Lynx didn't dominate, they got dominated. At first, it looked like business as usual. The Lynx jumped ahead with a strong run and built a 13-point lead early in the second quarter. Alana Smith hit a 3 and finished an acrobatic layup. Minnesota led 27-14, and the crowd was roaring. But then, something changed. The Fever locked in on defense. Minnesota didn't score for the final 8 minutes and 17 seconds of the first half. Not even a free throw, just missed shots and turnovers. The Fever went on an 18-0 run to close the half and took a 32-27 lead into the break. The Lynx, the best offensive team in the league, had been completely shut down. Of the first half, not even a free throw, just missed shots and turnovers. The Fever went on an 18-0 run to close the half and took a 32-27 lead into the break. The Lynx, the best offensive team in the league, had been completely shut down, and things only got worse from there.
Williams finding Collier. Good matchup here. Collier backing down Howard, fading away, won't go. Collier battling with Howard in the paint, fading away, won't go. Williams into Collier, the turnaround left it. Into Collier, the fadeaway, in and out.
In the third quarter, Natasha Howard stepped up big time. She scored 10 of her 16 points, pulled down rebounds, made great passes, and guarded the Lynx's MVP candidate Napheesa Collier like a pro. Collier, who averages over 24 points per game, was held to just 12 points on 6 of 18 shooting. She also turned the ball over 5 times, more than anyone else on her team. Howard didn't do it alone. This was a full team effort. Aaliyah Boston had a double-double with 12 points and 11 rebounds. She also handed out 6 assists. Kelsey Mitchell added 12 points of her own, keeping the offense moving with fast passes and quick cuts. Ari McDonald matched that with 12 points too, slicing through the defense. And Sophie Cunningham knocked down 3 huge three-pointers, including one in the fourth quarter that shut down Minnesota's final push. It wasn't flashy, it wasn't a high-scoring game, but it was smart, sharp, and tough. Indiana's ball movement was clean. They didn't rely on one player. Everyone played their role. Everyone made an impact. The Fever out-hustled the Lynx. They played tougher. They were quicker to lose balls, and on defense, they were everywhere. The Lynx, on the other hand, had their worst offensive night of the year. They shot just 34.9% from the floor and hit only 4 of 16 three-pointers. That's a big drop from their usual average of nearly 10 threes per game. Their 59 points were their lowest total this season. Indiana forced 16 turnovers and kept Minnesota's passing game stuck in the mud. What made it even more impressive was that the Fever did all of this without Caitlin Clark, their biggest name and offensive leader. But Caitlin wasn't quiet. After the win, during a joyful locker room celebration, she made a statement that got the whole team laughing. Captured on Aaliyah Boston's Instagram Live, Clark's voice could be heard off camera saying, "Guys, I just know everybody is sick." Boston burst into laughter and fired back, "They're peed." It was lighthearted, but powerful. Everyone in the league saw it. They knew Indiana just pulled off something big, and they did it without their superstar. Clark's message wasn't just about this game. It was about the storm the Fever is becoming. Kelsey Mitchell summed up the moment perfectly, saying it was a gut-check experience for the team. She said it wasn't just about the physical battle, but also about staying strong mentally and emotionally. The Fever weathered the storm. They never panicked. They stayed together, played smart, and showed the league what they're made of. Well, some fans say it's just an in-season tournament. But make no mistake, the Indiana Fever just shook the WNBA. They won the Commissioner's Cup for the first time ever. They earned $500,000 in prize money. They stunned the best team in the league. And now, every team knows. Even when Clark is out, the Fever are still dangerous. They're not afraid to play the villain, and they're not done yet. That's all for today. Before you go, what do you think this means for the Lynx's playoff hopes? If you're still here, drop a GOAT in the comments, because that's exactly how clutch you are for sticking with me. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on that bell. See you next time.